Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the VULCAN Report. This end-of-day report is for trading on February the 23rd, Thursday, 2017. All right, so taking a look here, starting things off with gold. Gold was very interesting today. Finally broke through that resistance, and we got a close at the 1250 handle, which is great. Now this sets the stage for a good run to 1300. We just have to do a few consecutive closes and we'll be good to go. Got to get outside of the Kumo cloud on the weekly chart, and that's going to be where our battle is. 1300 is still inside of the Kumo cloud, so that's our target. It wants to run the 1300, so we got to hold fast. Hopefully we'll get a continuation without any real significant pullbacks. This should be a good springboard for a bounce. Hopefully it will stay like that. Here's UGLD. Looking at the equity side of the picture on the weekly chart, we're not in the cloud yet. It's still rising. So UGLD is lagging from a positional chart perspective. It's lagging the futures. Here's a look at GLD. GLD is moving right along with the gold futures, so it's going to move more perfectly. UGLD is a derivative of GLDs, the ultra. The ultras and the 2x, 1x, 2x, 3x ETFs, man, those are going to be a little bit more choppy and have more gaps in them because they're derivatives of a derivative. All right, so GLD is closer to the gold futures than UGLD or Nugget, those kind of things. So this is what we are. This is what we're tracking. So for the GLD, we should be able to get up to that 125. That's the target for the GLD. All right, moving along, let's take a look at GDX. All right, here's your miners. All right, the miners are in the Kumo cloud, tracking with gold. Wants to get up and break out to this $26, $27 handle. So GDX has a target of $27 on it. GDXJ, which is your junior miners, tracking with the gold right now, but it's almost outside of its cloud. It's stronger than GDX. Its target is $50. All right, that's your GDXJ. However, the one with all the action today outside of gold was U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel, bearish engulfing candle on the weekly chart. Looking at the daily chart, here we go. We took out some key supports, bouncing off this trend line right here, but 34.55 is in play, and below that we get into the $25 handle. Why do you say that? Where are you getting that from? Well, let me show you. It goes back to the week of November the 7th of 2016, where we have a gap that has not been filled. That is our price target for the sell-off in U.S. Steel. We have a short-term top in place, and we're looking at a possible $10 to $12 run to the downside on the sell-off. This should take place by the end of April, first week of May of 2017. Hold your shorts in U.S. Steel. Moving forward, taking a look at silver. Silver is pretty much the same picture. It's running up. We got a good close at the 18. Silver should be able to push up to that $20 handle, and that should be new support. $20 moving forward should be new support. We should get that support. Hopefully we can get the support built by the end of May, and we should be good to go. All right, moving right along, let's take a look at your SLV. All right, SLV, same picture. It needs to close above 18. That's going to be its new support. So it can make a run at 20, maybe even get lucky and get to 25. Here's USLV. Taking a look at the USLV. It's below the Kumo cloud. It needs to get topside above the 2250. And we're going to put a $30 target on the USLV. All right. So that's a good $15 run from where we are right now. Taking a look at the US dollar. The US dollar's had a hard way to go. But we're trying to put in a third week of green on the screen after being down 2, 4, 6 weeks in a row. So it's trying to build a base for support, but it's looking like we're about topping out and it's about to roll over again. This makes a decoupling effect from Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Taking a look here now at Bitcoin, it looks like we're finally going to do it. It's finally going to take out the old high of 1150. We're going to get a close here. It looks like that 1173-ish level. So we're closing at 1170. We're up $51.39 today in the Bitcoin, and that's a new record. And not only do we have a new record high, but we have a new record close as well. So as the Bitcoin has decoupled from the dollar at this point, the question will be, will the dollar catch up? I suspect that if we can build a support here, we're going to need to build support around that old high of 1150. You don't want to see the market close below 1150 at this point. If it does, then this will be sort of like a blow off top, and then it could crash and burn. You don't want to see that. You want to see this continue. The target, I think all things are starting to align, and Bitcoin should be able to make a run to 1500. And if the dollar gets back on board, then the dollar should run to 106. So that is our long range targets. So we're looking at, by the end of the year, these targets to be hit. We'll see what the market has in store, but right now looking very bullish, and you cannot close below 1150. And it looks like it's doing just that. It's running. It's staying above 1150, but we need to test it on a pullback, and then we'll see what it can do from there. All right, moving right along now, looking at crude oil. Crude oil is hanging in there. All right, still consolidated massively. Doesn't know what it wants to do. Got to take a look at the paper market and see what we got here on that one. Maybe that can tell a better picture. And you can see here it's showing overall negative momentum coming in here. And $30.83 trend line support is in play, unless we can get a breakout and run back up toward the 35 level. But yes, you can see narrow range, narrow to slightly lower trading. In the crude oil, it's directionalist at this point, doesn't know what it wants to do. Taking a look now at, I missed one. Oh, JNUG. Just like I showed you in the GDXJ, if you've seen GDXJ, you've seen JNUG. If you've seen GDX, then you've seen Nugget, okay? So they're going to follow suit. Same situation, got to get outside of that cloud. Same technical analysis as for the GDX and the GDXJ. So it's going to have to follow the GDXJ and pierce through the Kumo cloud. And I would say if we can do that and build a base support around 25 bucks, then it should be able to get to 35. So I'm setting a $35 target on the JNUG. All right, and also on the Nugget. Here's Nugget. Same scenario. 35 bucks as well on the Nugget. And let's see here. Looking at the Nasdaq 100. New high on the TQQQ, 84.75. And we're kind of just hanging out in a narrow range. Looking at the QQQ. Same thing, new high, 130.70. Market seems to have a lot of support cushion underneath of it, and looks like it just wants to go to the moon. Looks like it wants to make a run, make a stab toward 135, 140. So there you have it. That's what the markets have lined up to do, and that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're doing. A few other things here to look at. See what NAC is doing. Some people believe that the whole NAC story thing in the news is all made up whackness. I don't know. Okay, I'm not privy to all of that. I have no idea. I just don't know. I know the volume spikes have been coming up. It's been dead for a long time, all up in here. Dead in the water. Now here it is, high flying, but coming back down, giving up a lot of the gains. All right, it's giving up a lot here. It's going to need to get up and boogie. So we'll see if it's true or not. But it has come from a low of 20 cents, so you got to give it some props. It hit a low of 20 cents back in January of 2016. It was 20 cents. All right, it's $1.65 now, so it's still up. All right, so we'll see what happens. Another one to watch is the dry ships. Been watching them dry ships, man. All right, it was $1.97. Now it's $2.35. You know, what's going to happen? Heck if I know. But it's definitely one to watch because these are new lows. All right, look at the price of this back in the day. $52,413.78. Unbelievable. You've had all kind of splits and stuff or whatever, I believe, along the way. Maybe not. Maybe it just dropped to where it is now, to being worthless. I don't know. Some of these are just full of drama. That's all I can say. They're full of drama. Full of drama. So, oh, natural gas. Got to look at natural gas. All right. Natural gas. Okay, on the weekly chart, you see it came down and touched that that support top side of the Kumo cloud, only to recover back up here, back up toward the resistance level here. It has a chance to follow the cloud up to the ramp and then shoot back up plus side of $3, but it is under pressure right here. It is under pressure. So this one, just based on the weekly, you don't see that much, but if you look at the daily chart, paints a little bit picture of what's going on. So we came down, we got as low as 255, and then here we are. All right, so this was today, and now it's gapped up for tomorrow. The reason why it's gapped up like this, and I use continuous charts, is because it's contract rollover. Tomorrow, the March contract expires, and you're going to roll over into the April contract, I believe it is. So with that said, April's going to be your new front month in the natural gas futures. Okay? So this gap here is not because there was more buying. It's because as you go further out in your further out months, the price tends to go higher because you're factoring in, storage and, interest and all that stuff. Okay. So that's what this is. All right. So curious to see how this is going to affect the equity side, because here's your UNG right here. So is it going to self-correct and gap up to on tomorrow's open and be up here? Well, I'm going to tell you what, regardless of that, you do have gaps that you got to deal with. So at some point, you got to come up here and fill this gap anyway. All right. You also got gap way up here too. So I think you're going to see, I think natural gas has hit a bottom because of that. And I think we're going to rally from here. So we'll see if I'm correct or not. That's just how I'm looking at it. All right. So with that being said, remember, come on over to postwavetrading.com where you can learn how to navigate these murky waters of algorithms and bots Learn how you can earn a decent living for you and your family when it comes to navigating Wall Street. Learn how you can hedge your portfolio of physicals. Learn how to turn the central banks and the Fed on their head. Learn to beat them at their own game. Come on over to pulsewavetrading.com. Sign up for the weekly PulseWave price trigger so that you can be in the know. And with that said, bulls make money, bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can, give nothing back. Peace.